we got a themed Impact. I hate these things. I wanted to express my hatred for themed Impact so much, but every time I start thinking about it, I keep botching. So let me just put it to you like this. Genesis, every 4 months. Slammiversary, every 4 months. Bound for Glory, every 4 months. Done. It is better than themed Impact. Once a year themed Impact, not every couple of months. That's it. Let's move on. The first match we got was the OGs versus the Lucha Brothers. Now, here's a problem with me. Was the match good? Yeah, it was good. Oh, I know a lot of people don't like Hernandez because they think he's pretty sloppy. But I will say he did a good job here. I do not have that image unless they got it on the site for YouTube. I'll try and get it while I'm doing the editing for this. But he did a jump right over the top turn rope and landed on everybody. Yeah, that could have hurt somebody bad. But for a guy nearly 300 pounds, it looked good. He looked like the type of person that would be stupid enough to do something like that. Not saying he's a stupid guy in real life, but he looks like a crazy guy to do that. The match was pretty good. But here's the main issue for me personally. You guys tell me below. How many times have you seen the OGs win a fight? So far, with the Lucha Brothers and LAX. Not counting jobbers. Jobbers are different. How many times did they win? 0. They've now had how many fights now? 1, 2, 3, 4. I say 5 or 6 straight fights. Counting with LAX and now the Lucha Brothers. And when it came to doing the business, they have not been able to deliver. They have become irrelevant. And that hurts me personally because the person who's been cutting the best promos in Impact Wrestling the last 6 to 8 months has been Kingston. Has been King. And instead of giving him something extra to work with, let him win those titles legitimately. Let him beat the crap out of LAX. Legitimately. No. Once LAX had about 3 wins, that's it. The OGs now mean nothing. And I feel like when it came to the writers, I think they just dropped off to from LAX and the OGs. They really don't get it. You need to have a gang warfare where one side is going to get over on the other one, but then the other side eventually is going to get back. Unless they're doing it like that and maybe saving it for, I believe the name of the next pay-per-view is Asylum, where maybe the OGs will finally get over on LAX and the Lucha Brothers. I would understand it, but that's months away. That's in January. We're in November. We got 2 months, at least 2.5 months before that happens. So that's if it's in January. So honestly, the OGs have nothing. And that's so bad. It sucks. I'm just being honest. I'm putting it out there. Next thing I'm going to talk about will be when I saw KM and Falaba, I knew there was going to be something funny. And when they appeared, and that's right after you see the Smoke Show's talent search. You got one guy that looks like Shark Boy. I think I got that image or somebody else's image. I don't know. But the videos supposedly are still coming in, and people are making videos for the Smoke Show to accept. That is such a great concept, that you let Scarlett Bordeaux be the one who's doing a talent search for her next leading man in Impact Wrestling. Once Falaba and KM came in, and Falaba's going, Ba? And KM is trying to talk for him, saying, look, we need you. We need you. We have done great. And she said, well, really? The last couple of matches you lost. Falaba had his chance to become champion. He lost. Why am I going to be involved with both of you? But you know what? We're going to Las Vegas, the place of sin. So let's see what's going to happen there. Particularly what maybe we're going to play poker. We're going to play 21. You know. Or are we going to play strip poker or something? I don't know. I'm thinking about it. and Falaba passes out because he got all that blood rushed from his head to his head. It's as stupid as that, but I enjoyed it. Now, we get to see Katarina. Oh, gorgeous woman. And then we saw Jolie, what was her name? Jolie Grace. Yeah, Jolie Grace. Oh, Joanne Grace or Jolene Grace? I keep forgetting. I'm sorry. You guys can tell me below. When I first see somebody, I get their names 100% wrong unless they leave a very strong impression. And when it comes to Jolie, or Joanne, I think it's Jolie. She did leave a very strong impression. She is a power wrestler. That's what she is. But here's the thing. When it came to her dealing with Katarina, and as much as I really like Katarina, I love Winter. I'm sorry. She put up too much of a fight. She did. And even though she lost to a bear hug, oh my goodness, when was the last time you saw someone win with a bear hug? Let alone a female bear hug. The one that used to do it was Brock Lesnar. Now you see Jolie Grace do it. This was beautiful. And I know Braun Strowman did it, but we're not talking about Braun. We're talking about a female, a woman wrestler using a bear hug and a national, international platform of wrestling. That was gorgeous. She made her ass tap out. But I have to admit two things. One, Katarina took too much out of Grace. I'm sorry. She shouldn't have been struggling against Katarina. She should have destroyed her like a Havoc or a Awesome Kong. I believe that's what they need to do with her. On top of that, the bear hug should have made her wipe out. In other words, Katarina, instead of tapping out, should have just went limp. And that would have been the end of it. That would have shown how truly dominant Jolie Grace, I think it's Jolie Grace, really should be. That she destroyed them. I mean, well, not destroyed them. Well, she will destroy the Knockouts division. She destroyed Katarina, and she will destroy the Knockouts division. That is what I think should happen. Because honestly, once you factor in Tessa Blanchard and once you factor in Taya Valkyrie, you got two very strong women physically. Taya and Tessa are very strong women. You need someone who can actually be over them. And that's why I think Jolie Grace should have been booked to completely wipe out a Grace. Now I'm getting things confused because I'm like, she should have just done the bear hug and totally wiped out Katarina. That's just how I feel. Now, Moose versus Eddie Edwards. The best match of the night. But here's the problem. No stimp. No stipulation. Zero stipulation. And that's why this doesn't mean anything. I'm sorry. The match was really good. You got a slap fest going on. It was that bad. That violent. You can see these two smacking the hell out of each other. Now, they've done this before. They have. Multiple times they slapped the hell out of each other. And they both got very good chemistry. But here's the problem. There's no consequence. Hear Moose when he was with Killer Cross, being interviewed by Mackenzie. And he said, I'm going to finish you. How are you going to finish Eddie Edwards? How? You need a stipulation to finish him. Because the fight they had beforehand, which is whizzing by me right now, it was substantial. It was important to see. But the problem was, not only did Eddie attack Moose first, it didn't feel like it was important. The guys were fighting like they were doing a hardcore match before the match even started. Then you should have made it into a hardcore match. You should have given this a stipulation. If this themed Impact is supposed to be important, being called Final Hour, then you need to give this a stip. You need a stipulation. I just felt like they really missed the mark here. Mind you, the match was the best of the night. It was damn good. I loved it. But it doesn't change the fact they missed what they really need to do to make this important. But I understand they want to continue this feud between Eddie and Moose. That's the reason why when it was over, I don't have the shot of it. When Alyssa, I always mispronounce her name. She's in the back, and the trainers are telling Eddie, you should not go to sleep immediately when you get home. She's being told, don't let him go to sleep. And Eddie's ready to go and look for Moose. And she's saying, stop. You're not right. You're hurt. I just felt like it could have used a stimp. Something. That's just me. Now, what else am I forgetting here? Brian Cage versus... I don't know how to feel about this. When it came to Cage and Sami Callihan at Rockstar Pro, I think it's Rockstar Pro Wrestling in Ohio. Let's be honest here. It wasn't a bad match, but the problem is Rockstar Pro is not very good when it comes to the camera work. Like a lot of these smaller promotions, you don't see all of the action in the ring very well. Whether it's Impact Wrestling's own cameraman or not, it's a different venue and it just looks choppy. It wasn't a bad match when it actually happened. And in the end, here's the thing. I know a lot of people probably say it's good that Brian Cage retained. But to be honest, I think Brian Cage should have dropped it and gave it to Sami Callihan. Because this was on his own turf. And he didn't just have help by the Chris brothers. He had help by most of the locker room in the back. Once the match was over and it was DQ'd. Pretty much. It was a DQ match, I believe. Was it a DQ match? Yeah, it was a DQ match. And Brian Cage basically managed to retain because he was attacked by, I think, what is it? Dave Chris or Jake? I think it's Dave Chris that attacked him. Once the rest of the roster came out and pretty much protected Sami. And mind you, I loved how the crowd was cheering for Sami and OVE. I loved it. It really showed that that was only OVE territory. But I really believed it would have been better to do the transition from Sami to get the title. He should have had it. Because at Asylum, what exactly are you going to be doing? If Brian Cage retains this too long, he will go stagnant. Now, I'm not saying Brian Cage is a bad character or a bad wrestler for that matter. For a guy as big as him, he moves around like he's a lighter wrestler. He just does. My guess is that Brian Cage, the Swolverine himself, I believe that he was a high-flying wrestler from the beginning and then bulked up heavily after that. And then he managed to retain most, not all of his moves, but most of his moves. That's the way I see it. And he's done very well with what he's got. He's a very bulky wrestler, but he moves like Apollo Crews. They both are bulky wrestlers with huge muscles, which I don't have. But they can move so well. But in this case, what does Brian Cage really have? Yes, he has a very few loss record. He could have dropped this to Sami, and honestly, it could have been an unfair win. And Sami having it would have made more out of it. Brian Cage having to chase after Sami, going from one promotion to another, because that's what they're doing anyway. They go from one promotion to another. Sami's at one promotion, and Brian Cage, to be there, has to go after someone there at that promotion, which helps the promotion, and it just makes him more deadly by the time you go to Asylum. That's just how I'm thinking, because you got like 2.5 months before Asylum happens. Eli Drake. Knowing that it was a fake lawsuit so he can attack the Abyss. Or Abyss. I say the Abyss. He is darkness personified. Well, once he puts on the mask and actually means it. I'll say this. When it comes to Eli Drake, he is next to King. Because you don't see Eli talk a lot. Because they haven't been showing him a lot. They've been showing King more. But if you got to put King against Eli Drake, who do you think talks better? It's going to be Eli. Because Eli just is a more better talker. Not saying that King isn't an incredibly great talker, one of the best in the company. But if you compare Eli to King, I'm sorry. As much as I like King, Eli is a better talker. He just is. And he made it very clear. He is a dying breed of how things used to be compared to the hardcore stuff they're doing now. And the way they were having having a promo with Joseph Parker in there was good. Seeing the beatdown was great. Seeing the setup for the beatdown, saying there are people in the back that Eli has convinced to help him to do this lawsuit. And once Joseph Parker called for him, guess what? Got his ass kicked, and pretty much Eli destroyed Joseph Park. It's going to upset me if this doesn't lead anywhere for Eli Drake. Now, mind you, I'm not against Abyss. I like Abyss. When they book him right, he's destructive. But in this situation, you need to do something with Eli, who's one of the franchise of the company. And I'm hoping this leads him down the path to get that damn title again. He really should be in the main title scene. Hell, put him against Brian Cage and let him at least get the X Division title, some type of title. That's what I think he needs. But that's just me. You guys tell me below. Should I do that now? Let's do this. The World Heavyweight Championship title match. That is Johnny versus Killer Kross. Killer Kross is a good talker. I do like how he talks. When they had the match, I do like how the match went. And I really don't know where they're going to go with Johnny and Killer Kross. Or Moose with Killer Kross. I don't know. Yes, Moose won against Eddie. And now Killer Kross lost against Johnny. Was the match good? It actually was quite good. At what points there was a lot of botchiness. I don't really think they have good chemistry. But they did do a decent job together. But I'll say this. You wonder where they're going to go with Killer Kross. You wonder where they're going to go with Johnny. I understand the reason why they got Johnny as the champ. I think if you see this, I do agree with you. Andre Corbell. I do believe Andre is correct. That if you let, I'll give it to you like this. Johnny working with CBS, and due to the fact that now WWE is going to have a show on Fox, the Fox network, I do believe that CBS may actually go down that same route. I don't think they're going to want to be beaten by Fox. They're one of the nationwide networks. I think they may actually go for a wrestling promotion of their own. I do not think they're just going to let this stand that Fox is going to be where they are. Channel 5 News. Well, not Channel 5. Well, you get my point. I do believe they may get a wrestling promotion of their own, and it might actually be Impact. It's the only one that's second place. The question's going to be, would they actually do it? I don't know. But this is just me. You guys tell me below. Now, here's the last. And this is about Ali, Father Mitchell, and what will come soon. I think by the time we go to Asylum, if that's the name of the pay-per-view, I can't remember. Is it Asylum? I keep saying Asylum. I think it is. But anyway, when you look at Ali, you may think she's turning heel. Completely evil, dark, going to work with Su Yung as an undead bridesmaid. That's what I think is going to happen to Ali. And you think the only way that Ali's going to be saved is by Rosemary. Rosemary is going to have to go up against not Su Yung, but eventually Ali herself. This is what I believe is going to happen. This is the path. Ali went like this as a good guy. Now she's here, and now she's going to become a bad guy. And I do believe first she's going to go up against Kiera Hogan. She's going to destroy her. Because now, because of the talk with Father Mitchell, and I'll give it to you like this. Father Mitchell pretty much said, I don't understand why you're fighting so hard against this, because you're not going to win. I went through it myself, and I was in the same position as you, and when it came down to it, I accepted it. I accepted the darkness, and it filled my soul. Now, you going through the same thing, you're fighting it. I'm doing the voice of Father Mitchell as best as I can. And he pretty much says, come with me, and I can make it end. No more pain. And then Su Yung appears right with him. And it is Kira who's trying to tell her, don't do this. Look what they did to you, to me, to Rosemary. And she says, as long as you don't hurt my friends, I'll do it. And you see the glowing from the hands, which is in my face, and she goes with them. But my feeling is this. The next time you see Allie, she will be an undead bridesmaid. She will take the place of the woman who had been working with Sue Young. And she's going after Kira Hogan. Then she may go after Tessa Blanchard. And she may actually go after Taya Valkyrie. But the first person she has to go after is Kira Hogan. She's got to destroy her to make it make sense. Now, if I'm correct, Rosemary will come back, stop it, and then there will be a fight between Rosemary and Allie once Sue Young has been taken out of the equation by Rosemary. But this is just me. You guys tell me below. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace.